Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things, kind of. To tell you the truth, I'm not feeling super into the idea of being frivolous. And I know that a lot of what we do on Sunday Stuff and Things is kind of frivolous. We're talking about hobbies, we're talking about interests, we're talking about fun things, breezy things. So we're going to go through the things that we would normally talk about in Sunday Stuff and Things, but just know that maybe today my heart's not quite in it the way it might normally be. Hopefully that's okay. But we're going to have some things to talk about, including upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays. We will be talking a little bit about changing maybe when I post videos. I've been looking into that, and I guess I'd like some of your feedback about that. We have to talk about the big thing that's going on this week. Sometimes the real world does intrude into our little fantasy world here in Stuff and Things. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about I guess something quite frivolous, a consumer complaint about Google Play. And then, of course, we will have your questions and comments in hashtag askstuffandthings. So let's get into it. All right, so what can you look forward to on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays? Turns out quite a bit. First of all, this coming Wednesday, you may notice this box behind me there. I think it had my address on there. You may notice this box here. It says Fender on it. Remember that whole 9-month guitar challenge thing where I said I was going to reward myself perhaps if I felt as though I deserved a reward for practicing every single day diligently? Well, I did, and you're going to see what that reward is this Wednesday. So please stay tuned for that. The next video after that is going to be a first impressions video for Brebbia Latakia Flake. This is one that I've had for a long time, or Latakia Flake number 9. And I've just kept forgetting to do this one, and I really am excited to try this out, and I know some of you will be excited to see me try it as well. So that'll be not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. On Stuff and Things Plays, some exciting stuff going on. Some of you may have heard that Elden Ring has just come out, and it is getting universal praise from all the reviewers, all the critics out there. And typically, I am way, way ahead with the videos that I record for Stuff and Things Plays. For instance, I'm about 6 weeks ahead with the series that I'm currently working on, which is the Deathloop series. The problem is, by the time I get to a game such as Elden Ring, the hype, the zeitgeist has kind of gone on to something else. So I really want to start playing Elden Ring now, but I'm going to have to divide up the week. So I'm going to have 2 episodes of Elden Ring starting this week, this Monday, and then 2 episodes of Deathloop, the other game that we've been playing on the channel. So Monday, what is it? I think I'm doing Monday, Friday is Elden Ring, Wednesday, Saturday is Deathloop. And we'll be doing that until Deathloop is done, and then we will be all Elden Ring all the time for quite some time, because it looks like the game is going to be huge. It also looks like the game is going to be completely amazing. So please stay tuned for the next adventures for Kevin the Kurt on Stuff and Things Plays starting this Monday. Elden Ring. And I think that's it. That's all I want to mention anyway this week on upcoming videos. All right, so I was talking a little bit about maybe changing some of the times where I post videos, maybe different days, maybe different times during those days. And there are certain times where supposedly, if you're living in North America, you should be posting, and certain times when supposedly you shouldn't be posting. And I'm just curious to know, like for Sunday, I don't think it would be a problem for any of you, right, if I posted my Sunday video earlier than 4 p.m., because from what I've been able to determine as far as research goes, I should be posting it much earlier in the day. And maybe I will start doing that and playing around with it. Once we have decided on specific times for videos posting, then you can pretty much be guaranteed that those videos will post at those times. But I'm thinking of posting it earlier on Sunday, like maybe as early as 10 a.m. Pacific on Sunday, and then that would mean that for people in the rest of the world who have, you know, maybe 9-10 hours ahead of us, they'll be getting it earlier on their Sunday, actually like a Sunday evening instead of a Monday. And I'm also looking into maybe posting the Stuff and Things Plays videos earlier on, I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday typically, but now I'm going to be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, maybe posting those earlier in the day. So just let me know if there's any sort of preference that any of you have for posting times for videos. Thank you. All right, and let's just get all the rest of the frivolous stuff out of the way for today. Just a little consumer report for you guys out there. I don't know if any of you ever use Google Play to stream videos or to rent videos or purchase videos. I don't typically, but sometimes there are certain videos or certain movies that you just can't get anywhere else. And recently I wanted to watch Princess Mononoke Hime, with my fiance, and I wanted it in Japanese. And on Amazon and all the other streaming services I could find, it was only available with the English dub. And I don't do English dub with Japanese animation. So I wanted the Japanese version, and I saw that it was on Google Play. I own a couple other movies on Google Play as well. We play them through my television. So I proceeded to try to purchase this. It was like 16 bucks on Google Play, which is kind of more than I was hoping to pay, but it was the only version I could find that was in Japanese. So anyway, started purchasing it, went ahead and did the purchase, and then realized that I was accidentally on my Stuff and Things account on Google and not my personal account. And my Stuff and Things account is not associated with my television, and it also, I didn't have any videos on that account. All my videos were on my personal account. And so I went, damn it, and immediately went to report a problem, immediately said, please give me a refund. Hadn't watched a second of this video, gave the reason saying I accidentally purchased this on the wrong account, please give me a refund, and then assumed that I would be getting a refund. Maybe this was obviously my own mistake for assuming this, and then went on to my personal account and purchased the film again, thinking I was going to be refunded for the other purchase that I had made on the Stuff and Things account. Because if you do that on Amazon, if you do that on iTunes, they will refund you, especially if you've never watched the thing that you purchased. About a day later, got an email back, just something automatic from Google Play, said, we have reviewed your refund request and it does not meet our standards for a return policy. So what are your standards? Apparently the only standards they have for issuing you a refund are if someone other than you purchased something on your account. And there might have been one other one. So I just found that really anti-consumer and really ridiculous. If you purchase something by mistake or on the wrong account, didn't watch a second of it, and immediately requested a refund, and they deny you that refund, that's ridiculous. So don't use Google Play out there. It's not great. Okay, so that's all the frivolous stuff. Let's get to the next topic. I don't know how to broach this without courting controversy or courting ill feeling amongst certain members of my audience. So I'm going to keep things on a fairly surface level here, but I have been very, I guess upset is the best word, about this whole Ukraine situation. I feel like we in the West have really let Ukraine down. I'm not a foreign policy dynamo. I don't know exactly what we could have done differently, and I don't want to debate this in the comments or anything, but I just feel like we have dropped the ball and we have not kept up our end of our promises in the past that we would embrace democracies around the world, and that if people took that step to try to have a democracy in their own country, whether or not, there's corruption, I'm sure there are all sorts of issues all over the world, but just trying to be an independent democracy, and we have not upheld our end of the bargain, I feel. And I feel like the West in general, I'm not just talking about the US, I feel like the West is too busy at each other's throats, at our fellow citizens' throats, this culture war, all the things that we're constantly arguing about, the frivolous things, as I mentioned, the things that don't really matter, where most of the rest of the world does not care about any of this stuff, and they are getting on with the business, sometimes the very dangerous business or the very deadly business of running their countries. And meanwhile, we think that everyone else is like us or everyone else cares about the same things that we care about. Putin doesn't care about the things we care about. The Chinese Communist Party does not care about the things we care about. And I think we need to sort of wake up and realize that that is the case and stop being at each other's throats all the time and start thinking. I'm not talking about being interventionalist. I know that there have been all sorts of foreign policy snafus that have existed because of the US and because of the West and NATO and the UN and just the Western allies. I understand all that. And I'm not saying I know what we should be doing necessarily, but I think what we shouldn't be doing is arguing about this culture war. And we should be looking outward a little bit more than we are. Everyone seems to be, especially on the populist side, like really into isolationism, America first. And as though there's some sort of zero-sum game where you can't help people abroad and also help your own citizens. And I just don't believe that. I think that's a lie. I'm not saying that we need to get involved militarily. I'm just saying what we're doing now isn't working, and it is really, really disheartening to see what's going on in Ukraine right now, or in Ukraine right now. I work with several people who are Ukrainian, who come from Ukraine, and they are devastated by what's happening. They're telling me about Skype conversations they're having with relatives as shells are dropping in their cities, and they're cowering in bunkers, afraid for their lives. And the rest of the world, we're talking about sanctions. Okay. Meanwhile, Germany relies on Russia for a huge portion of their natural gas. The rest of Europe, the US too. You know, we're in bed with these people, and we shouldn't be in bed with these people. We should not be in bed with Russia. We should not be in bed with China. We need to think about that a little bit more in the West. That's all I'm going to say. I know that it's inappropriate for me to say anything about this and then say, please don't argue about it in the comments, but I just felt like I couldn't do a normal Sunday video without talking about these things, because they are very important things, and they are things that I've been thinking about pretty much nonstop since they've been going on. And I guess if anyone needs to make a comment, let's keep everything civil, but let's not argue, okay? Because that's my whole point, is let's not be arguing amongst ourselves right now. We need to think about what's really important. That's about it. All right, gang, briefly, I want to get to some of your questions and feedback in hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, tweet at SATBradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings, and I will do my best to answer you. You can also leave me questions via Patreon if you are a Patreon supporter, or you can leave questions in comments on YouTube videos, my YouTube videos, and I will try to answer you. But first, via Patreon, we have a question from Matt Marino. Matt says, great Sunday Stuff and Things this week. I'm looking forward to how to do stuff and things. My question for you, for hashtag #AskStuffandThings, is this. Do you have an area to S your pipe in inclement weather? Hope the gerbils aren't so camera shy next time. Matt. Thanks, Matt. It's mostly in my vehicle. That's mostly where I'd be, and then if I'm working, yeah, it's typically in my vehicle. I might get out. You know, I mean, it actually had been a little bit colder here recently, but, you know, for the most part, it's like 40 degrees or something, which isn't that cold, and I can just hang out and smoke a pipe, or S a pipe. Thank you, Matt, for the question. I know a lot of people do the garage thing to get a little space heater or something, but for me, mostly vehicle. Next, via Twitter, nothing via Twitter. Next, via YouTube, Gabriel Polides says, couple things. 1, you're probably better read and better educated than most college graduates. Not sure where that comes from, because a couple people mentioned that. Did I say something about me not being educated last week? I don't even remember that. But thank you, Gabriel. Second, would be funny to see you do a cooking video, even if you botch it. Go outside your comfort zone and try a different Italian or French dish, or making sushi. I've always been a fine cook, actually, Gabriel. So typically I don't screw up things when I cook, even if it's a recipe I've never done before, because I'm always very, very good at following directions in a recipe. But thank you for the suggestion. Next, a question. I know you gave a great review of Kringle Flake, but Sutliff was gracious enough to send you a free sample. But what are your thoughts on limited releases? Would you ever stay up at midnight to order a blend knowing it'll sell out quickly? If it's something that sounds up your alley, would you order 5 tins blindly? Is that not your style? Is it a gimmick, marketing ploy? Love your content. Gabriel. Thank you for the question, and the answer for me is a resounding no. I would never, ever stay up till midnight to try to order a limited edition tin. And that is not to say that I somehow look down on people who do that, because I know there are certain people who are really into that collector aspect or the rarity. There's this limited edition tin, I want to get it, I want to get 10 tins and put them away. That's totally cool. I totally understand that people are into that, but I am not at all. In fact, it actually kind of makes me annoyed and makes me not want the thing if they try to make it into a limited sort of release. I'm just not into that. I never have been. I've never been a collector in general. And I think maybe whatever it is, the gene that makes you want to collect, it makes me not want to collect. It also makes me not want to go after limited releases like that. But interesting question. Next, we have feedback from last week. This is from the Sunday Stuff and Things from AZ Hawk. They say, I pretty smoke English and Virginia blends. I'm sure he's meant pretty much smoke. I pretty much sorry, we're supposed to use our euphemisms, English and Virginia blends regardless of season. I do find that I tend to Virginia blends in the morning and my English blends in the evening. So thank you for that, AZ Hawk. We were talking about if there's a seasonal aspect to the way we enjoy the hobby, and I was asking some of you to let me know what that may be. And so Big Earn Bladesmith said, I had Guitar Center email and call me for about a year after I had purchased equipment. Just seeing how things were going. Maybe a musical equipment merchant thing? I had fun at Sweetwater's headquarters over the summer. They have a massive pedal collection there. The slide was fun. And I got to play around on some stuff. I will say this. It's kind of neat that everyone who works there has to be a musician, singer, etc. They do? I didn't know that. Not too keen on them holding your item hostage like that, though. So that was a couple weeks ago. English blends all year for me. I keep my Essing room a fairly constant temp year-round. I only outside in the spring and fall. I can't anything when it's hot. I just don't enjoy it. Thank you. Island Piper. I've never felt the need to a particular blend of on a certain season. This might have something to do with living in the tropics and not really experiencing all 4 seasons. Interesting. Wouter S says, looking forward to the How to Do series. Can we send in suggestions for how to do videos? Certainly. I will certainly look at those and entertain any that I think might work. Next, from Fraser 1909. Regarding seasonal blends, I agree with you. There is something to the English winter pairing. However, the infamous Christmas cheer is a winter blend, and it's a Virginia. That is true. Very true. And I think of that as a very festive holiday blend. I think it's all your subjective and personal taste. As Matches860 once said, if Carter Hall reminds you of your grandfather reading The Night Before Christmas, then that's your Christmas blend. Cheers with that old-fashioned. Thank you, Fraser. Next, on the old-fashioned video, we had some feedback. Quite a few people suggesting alterations to the recipe, substitutions. My whole point with that recipe that I showed you was supposed to be kind of the most basic, traditional version. So bear that in mind as we read these. From Paul Zubrit. Now that you've shown us how to make drinks, will you be making videos that feature pairing alcohol and pipe teas? Probably not. I never ever have a pipe while I'm having a drink, because I almost never drink, and if I am drinking, I'm absolutely never essing a pipe at the same time. So that probably won't happen. Next, from Country Gentleman. Old Fashions were my brother's favorite drinks before he passed last year. Sorry to hear about your brother. Thank you for reminding me of good memories I had with my brother. Bradley, a.k.a. I very much enjoy your pipe tea reviews. It inspired me to make my own PTPC channel. PTPC. I have a lot to learn, but I have hope soon to make videos as enjoyable and informative as yours. Thank you very much for your videos. That's from Country Gentleman, so you could look him up on YouTube. Next, from Rockin' Steady. My grandfather was a World War I veteran who had a law practice in San Francisco during the 50s and 60s, and this was his drink, the old-fashioned. A really great Irish American he was. Thank you for this. This cocktail always has a special place in my heart. Thank you, Rockin' Steady. Red Devil says, love the retro style intro. I prefer rye also. I like the rye. The rye with the old fashioned. The bourbon to me is a little too sweet, so I like the rye to offset the sugar. Cheesy Bacon. Man, this is way too complicated. Too many casings and toppings on that whiskey. Just give me an unflavored straight whiskey. So I can see what you're doing there, Cheesy Bacon, and I appreciate it. All right, gang, but that is the feedback. Please keep that feedback and those questions coming in. And now it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. The people who support these channels on Patreon, they make all of this go. The fancy camera that's filming right now, the lights that are shining upon me, it is all thanks to people like you. We can't monetize a lot of the tea videos on YouTube, so it really helps out to have your patronage on Patreon. And every week we shout out those who support the channels at $25 or more a month. People like Kirk Crompton, Private Eye, Glenn, Jason Buckner, Gloria Phillips, Ryan McFadin, Matt Marino, MDoftheNorth, and Kyle. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month. People like our good friend Peter Straub, Stolid, Dependable Bob Magee, David Gaudreau. Is it Gaudreau or Gaudreau? I really need to know that, David. Mr. Luxurious himself, and of course, Ashes of the Phoenix, rising from the ashes to put this channel on his shoulders. Thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. All of that stuff helps with the algorithm. And please stay tuned for that video, something super exciting for me, and I'm sure it will be exciting for you as well. It's going to be cool. The Brebbia Latakia Flake #9 video coming up in a week or so, and then all the good stuff on Stuff and Things Plays with Elden Ring and Deathloop. But until next time, tell me it again. No, that's wrong. That's my Stuff and Things Plays sign out. But until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a somewhat pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. I'll see you later, and hang in there, Ukraine.